Well, at least some of it was decent. I'm Sean Renton with my review of AEW Dark, and 14 matches for this edition, heading on the road to AEW Revolution. We have one more stop with Dynamite, and next week's going to be interesting because that's the debut of AEW Dark Elevation, which is on Mondays, and then AEW Dark is going to be on Tuesdays, so hopefully we can avoid near 2-hour editions like this one was. But there were some decent moments. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, please. So with 14 matches, there was bound to be a little bit of filler, and I don't even know her, but we had Lee Johnson and Aaron Solo versus Louis Valley and Chris Peaks. It wasn't that bad. Solo and Johnson can be a pretty good team, with a little bit of polish. Blue Thunderbomb, 1, 2, 3. So certainly not a bad opener, and I'm interested to see what they do with this team of Johnson and Solo. And then commentary runs down the Revolution card. I will be doing my AEW Revolution predictions sometime Thursday morning / afternoon, so look forward to those. And then we had Red Velvet and Kylan King versus Ivelisse and Diamante. I like Kylan King. I think she has a very bright future, and I hope the company signs her. Red Velvet, this was a way to get her, featured a little bit more before that big mixed tag, teaming with Cody against Shaq and Jade Cargill, which is going to be very interesting. It's either going to be a train wreck or it's going to be a funny train wreck. It might actually surprise some people. I don't know what it's going to end up being, but it's a big test for everybody. It is a really big test. The double team moves, work pretty well. I will say that King and Velvet do actually have a, bright future as a team. Maybe team them up a little bit more on Dark, maybe even on Dynamite. Ivelisse is not very good. She's really not. Her and Diamante are very awkward. Running boot, 1, 2, 3. And there we go. Red Velvet gets a victory before the big mixed tag tomorrow. We have Top Flight versus Fuego del Sol and John Cruz. Top Flight, they're, a multi-year project, but they do have a lot of raw athletic ability. Cruz hits a cool dive, and then Fuego del Sol hits a tornado outside. This wasn't bad. It was, just kind of basic. And then we get a weird bulldog flip, 1, 2, 3. Top Flight gets the victory. And then we have the Gun Club, Austin, Colton, and Billy. Oh, Billy. And if you've seen the Cable Guy, you get it. Versus Tony Vega, Aaron Fry, and Angel Fashion. This match happened. It also went a bit too long. It wasn't bad, but it was also just there. 310 to Yuma, 1, 2, 3. I want to say right now, I love Abaddon's entrance. Is the most holy original thing ever? No, you can make comparisons to Rosemary and stuff like that, but I think Abaddon puts a good spin on it, and I'm interested to see what they do with her. She took on Renee Michelle. Abaddon really does have, a cool feel to her. She's different. She's unique. She does this, the living dead girl, the spoopiness and all that. And Renee Michelle hopefully will get brought back to AEW programming, but this is a quick win for Abaddon. She wins with the Widow Peak variation, 1, 2, 3. And then we get Stu Grayson with the Dark Order versus J.D. Drake. J.D. Drake faced off against Eddie Kingston recently, and you know what? He's got a cool territory look. He hits, he hits hard. He has some nice strikes. And I'm going to be interested to see if they feature him a little bit more. People spoke highly of him. I see why. He does have some raw athletic ability. Big running boot by Drake. There were some good near falls here. And then Nightfall, 1, 2, 3. And then the Acclaimed Shopping Network, they have the Dark Order Kool-Aid that they, give to a guy, and then he turns into Dark Order member number 100. This is because Max Caster is going to take on number 10 tomorrow in a ladder qualifier match for the Face of Revolution ladder match, I believe. I believe that's the name of it. They're just adding weird names to this stuff just to dress things up when you could just say it's a number 1 contenders ladder match. You don't have to put fancy names on everything. But anyway, they beat the guy up and, make fun of the fact that he's really stringy and everything because he's got markings all over him. And I do like the Acclaimed. This was a little bit cheesy, but at least they're doing a little bit more personality profiles outside the ring. Bear Country versus Baron Black and M. Badu. Baron Black and M. Badu could be a fun duo, with a little more time. Baron Black, I think, could be a good singles competitor. And Badu has some great size. I love Bear Country. I think they're great. Two big guys can move this goddamn well. Good tag match, good, definitely dark material, but as far as like, getting somebody over, but it was nice that they gave this a good amount of time. Both teams worked well. And Mbadu, jumps off the top with a nice clothesline. And then a little bit later, splash off the shoulders, 1, 2, 3. Bear Country get the victory, but it was a nice little tag match. And then Butcher and the Blade attack Bear Country because, the whole thing that happened, I believe, in the was it a lumberjack match? I think it was a lumberjack match. They've been kind of having, a bit of a, scuffle back and forth. So then we have Dark Order members Uno, Angels, and Colt versus Ryzen, John Schuyler, and Levi Shapiro, who's appeared on Primetime Live. It wasn't bad. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the Dark Order gimmick. I'm also one of those people that I don't believe they should end the Dark Order gimmick just because Brody Lee's, his unfortunate passing. The gimmick is what it is. Everybody seems to be working hard to try and keep it going, and hopefully they can. An Uno flatliner, which actually was an impressive maneuver. 1, 2, 3. And a Max Caster against JJ Garrett. He says, I understand, it's like, I think I heard your name is short for Vajayjay, which it's probably going to upset people, like when he said about the Bucks, you're acting like girls that are on their cycles. It's just funny. It's funny. I mean, I don't really get why there was so much hate. JJ Garrett, though, kind of reminds me of a shrunken down Scott Steiner, and I mean that, complimentary, because, in a complimentary way, that is, because he has, some good ability and did get to show off here. And does have that throwback with the mullet and stuff like that and the singlet, but maybe they could sign him at some point, feature him a little bit more on Dark, see if he's interested in signing. Caster is a great goddamn heel. We get a distraction, a low blow, and then we get the diving elbow. 1, 2, 3. Sean Dean and Charlie Bravo versus TH2. Well, Sean and Bravo do have potential as a team. TH2, they exist. And a leg lock tapped out Bravo. Not really the biggest fan of TH2. And then Steve Stetson versus Orange Cassidy, who I know has a lot of fans. I am not one of them. I don't hate the guy, but I hate the gimmick. I just think the gimmick is very one note. It has gone as far as it can. And we get, the usual shit from Cassidy, but this time he puts the cowboy hat on, the Stetson cowboy hat. Stetson, it's easy for you, and he wins with Beach Break. Do, 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 do. Chuck Taylor took on VSK. Oh, great. We have back-to-back matches with Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. You shouldn't have. Really, AEW, you shouldn't have. Pile Driver, 1, 2, 3. Nothing against VSK. Actually, he's fine. Maybe featuring him against a better opponent will actually make me realize, VSK isn't that bad. But he's been featured in enough multi-man matches. 10 versus Danny Joseph. Brody's Kid joins commentary. One hardly needs to go on about that. 10 wins. I got my opinions on that, and I'm leaving it to it. Kid's happy to be there. If they're happy to have him there, cool. Matt and Mike Seidel, that is, versus SCU. This could have been on Dynamite. It wasn't a bad way to close out Dark. It was well-paced. I like the action from both teams. Eventually, best Meltzer ever, 1, 2, 3. A lot of these Dark reviews are probably going to be a little bit shorter because there's no reason to go over these moves in minute detail. Just talk about some talents I like and stuff like that, because that's the whole point of Dark. You feature the talents. Maybe some will break out and they'll sign some people, and they can, fill out their programming, because they're apparently going to add a second show either, I think, on TNT or TBS at some point, which is going to be interesting. So they're going to need to load up the roster, and hopefully they can feature some people and have some good storylines and cross over some stuff, and they can make it better than Nitro and Thunder was. Because you can't do much worse than Nitro and Thunder, especially from 98 to 2001. Oh dear. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm Charles Reitland. I'll see you soon.